Hello everyone and welcome to this walkthrough of the Textguides. So, as you can see here, I'm all alone this time, but the reason for that is that I'm enjoying myself in Greece. So, this time it will be all me, and I'm going to go over Rookie, Pro and Expert, and Master Division for you. For the next time, of course, Mr. RJTV will be back here on the screen. So, this tournament that is coming up, 9 brand new holes, and that means for every division, and we're going to go through them all, like for Rookie, for Pro, Expert and Master, and kind of not discuss, but at least I'm going to describe how I do believe those holes is going to play, which type of clubs, balls, etc. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so I hope you are going to enjoy yourself here. So we're going to start off with hole number 1. Hole number 1 is a par 4, and as you can see, we do have the white line, we do have the black line. I do believe that for Rookie, Pro and Expert and Master, we're going to play according to the black line. We're going to go directly over to the fairway on the right. The only reason we wouldn't be going over to the right is if we would be having a massive headwind. Then from second and third tee, then we need to bounce before the rough over to the fairway. Why do we go to the right then? The reason for that is that we then have an easy shot towards the greens. Also a much easier drive than going to the left. For Rookie, we're going to play with a backbone, because the backbone is going to be the club that we're going to play with for our second shot. And then for Pro and Expert and Master, we're going to play with Goliath as a long iron, and then the Guardian as a wood club. The Guardian is going to be there so we actually can, in a tough situation, then we can go directly to the pin. The white line there is a very hard line to go with. The only way I would go with that one is if we would be having in Master Division, if we would be having like headwind combined with crosswind to the left, then it would be very tough for us to reach over the rough, even though we would be having a club with a lot of topspin. Then the white line could be considered. But the problem with the white line is, again, that the drive is going to be very tough. So there is also a line that is not written out here that I do believe is going to be possible, especially from second tee with clubs that are upgraded enough with topspin, especially driver. Then we can bounce over the bunker in the middle if we do have some topspin. Ball, Quasar, Rookie with the side spin, I like that. And then we do have Titan Kingmaker for Pro and Expert, and Kingmaker / Berserker for Master. And Berserker there is if we do have some tailwind, then we're going to try to maybe go for a hook shot or something like that, put ourselves close to the green with a wedge or with a short iron. So hole number 2, par 3, and it looks very tricky, but I don't believe this one is a tricky one. We're going to start off with Rookie, and Rookie, then we do have the black line as a line to play with. Then we're going to go straight forward. We're going to play in that kind of like section that is rounding in there amongst the bunker. 2 bars of backspin as a general backspin, and then side spin to the right. If we would be having crosswind to either left or right side, then we need to either remove side spin or we need to add side spin depending on the way that the wind is blowing. Then if having tailwind, I would go with 2.5 bar backspin. If we would be having headwind, I would be going 1.5 bar backspin. So make sure a little bit with the spin there and you will be okay. Backbone, as we're going to play with a long iron from front tee. Second tee, we do have Pro and Expert division. Here we're going to most likely play with a wood club, and then the sniper is going to be the play here. It's also going to be the black line that's going to be the play here. Sure, if we do have some very strong headwind, let's say, that we would be maybe in between clubs from the driver or the sniper, or we might have to aim and down into the bunker, then the white line could possibly be a line to play with. But I would consider the black line to absolutely be the line that we should be playing with. The sniper, absolutely. Guardian could be a good a club as well, but I like the sniper with the ball guide and the accuracy. The spin will have to wait until the tournament starts, as from the second tee it's not possible to practice any of the holes. I haven't played them myself, but I would say around the 4 to 5 bars of backspin would be good with tailwind, and like 2.5, 3 bars of backspin with headwind. Master tee, then the white line in my opinion comes in play, especially with some strong winds. Very hard to hit that specific spot when it comes to playing from the third tee. The wind is affecting the ball a lot and stuff like that. Then we're going to play right side and going to curl it in slightly using our quarterback, or we're going to use our rocket. Sure, if having like straight headwind, straight tailwind, and we can go straight forward as well. Hole number 2, we add 10% extra due to elevation. We're playing downhill. When it comes to hole number 1, we don't add anything to for elevation. I did forget about that. Hole number 2 as well, we do play with the sniper rocket there. We do have Quasar as a ball for rookie. We do have Titan Kingmaker for pro and expert, and Kingmaker or a wind 5 ball, like a Bandera ball, like a Oceania ball, Santa ball, etc. That can of course play in all the divisions as well, but especially in Master Division. Hole number 3 is going to have a very tough par 5. I'm going to start off with rookie, as it's going to be a little bit different for rookie than it is for pro and expert and master. And let's focus on the black line, and we are going to actually go full blast over the bunker there in front. You can see the first black marker. It says that you should be bouncing on that marker, but with just 2-3 miles per hour tailwind and a power 3 ball, you can, as rookie, go max overpower, go directly over the rough. Sure, having to overpower your shot is always going to be difficult and it's going to be scary. So the thing that we do want there to go with as much topspin as possible, and we also want to put a rough iron club in our bag that do have a lot of topspin. So choose those two combined, and it's going to help you even though you find yourself in the rough. And even if you're going to cut the rough there to roll out on the fairway, you're still going to have clubs that you're going to be able to reach for the green in 2. We're going to play with a big dog here. We need distance and also topspin. And if you don't have the big dog, then you can play with the horizon, which is going to work perfectly there. So for pro and expert, now we're going to bounce before the bunker there. The only way we're going to go directly over is if we would be having like 10 miles per hour plus in tailwind and playing with a power 3 or maybe a power 5 like a berserker ball or something like that. We're going to bounce before the bunker. Important that you have a driver with a lot of topspin, and that's like a Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, or maybe an upgraded extra mile would be good here. And then you want to roll as far as possible on the fairway. Important that you pack a club like the big dog or the cataclysm so you can reach for the green in 2. Other than that, you're going to have a second shot that you most likely aren't going to be able to go directly to green. Then you need to bounce before the rough, before the green, to roll that ball towards the pin. Master Division, sure, now the white line might be able to come in play, but in the end it's going to be very, very tough to play according to the white line. And the only way I would be going there, if I would be having like a strong left to right crosswind in master, and might in pro and expert as well if I'm not having the curl on my club, so I can bounce myself up as close to the bunker there on the top right as possible. Still going to give us a very tough time to reach for the green according to the white line, but other than that, the black line is going to be played here. We are not going to add anything here due to elevation. It's going to be working exactly as it is. We're going to have a power 3 ball, important Titan for rookie, Titan Kingmaker for pro and expert, Kingmaker, Berserker, but also a dead ball like a power 4 ball for a master division here. Not an albatross hole in my opinion. I think this is going to be an eagle hole, all the way through. So we go to hole number 4, the second par 3. We're going to start off with rookie, and you can actually choose here depending on the club that you're going to have. First, we're going to add 10% due to elevation here as we're playing downhill, and then we do have the white line, which is going to be a line in rookie. If you have like the Guardian or you have a club with at least 5 bars of backspin, then you're going to be able to make the ball stop directly on the green and having no problem to pot it in for a birdie. Other than that, we do have the black line, which you're going to play with a long iron, and then you're going to play with the backbone, max side spin, 2 bars top spin, and curl it around 50% of the ball outside of the ring on the right. Then you're going to be very, very close. So the problem with this hole is that you're in between club. You also have a very bumpy center. That's why we either play before or we play after. The second, for the second tee, sniper rocket. Rocket if we're going to go directly onto the green. Sniper if we're going to go the same play as we did in rookie. The same type of adjustment, just that with the rocket we need to go with max backspin here. For the sniper there, max side spin, look at the ball guideline, have in mind the extended ball guideline as well. For Master T, we're going to play with quarterback or rocket. We're going to play with a driver every single time here, and then we're going to play either the same way with the quarterback before, or we're going to play with the rocket just behind the green. Thing to have in mind here is if we have a massive headwind, then we can massive tailwind, then we can't go with the rocket and play before the green, as we're going to have an extended ball guideline, which is going to make the ball not stop in the way that we want to and potentially put ourselves into the water. Wind 5 ball would be good here. I can see it says Kingmaker Berserker in Master, but definitely no Berserker when it comes to a par 3. So Wind 5 ball is very important to have here if you do have one. Other than that, Power 3 ball with a Wind 3 ball would also work perfectly. Hole number 5, par 4, one of the easier ones in my opinion. I don't know why really, because we do have a lot of water, but I do believe they are it is an easy one, let's say. So hole number 5, par 4, we're going to play right side as a general. For rookie, we're going to have no problem. We're going to first add 5 to 10% extra for our drive due to playing slightly downhill. We're going to play right side, and we're going to have our driver in medium distance of our club. When we are playing from the front tee. Bounce over with as much topspin as possible and try to go as close to the bunkers there on top. Important with a power 3 ball here. The reason it's important is because otherwise we're most likely going to be in between clubs if we're playing in rookie, as our short irons aren't going to be upgraded that much. For the second shot, we're going to go directly to green pack clubs that do have a lot of backspin. Thorn, Saturn, and sure, if you don't have the Saturn, put the backbone in and hope that you're going to be there with the Thorn instead. So for second tee, then we're going to play right side, and we're going to play with a club again with a lot of topspin. Have in mind that even if you put yourself in the rough, you're going to have no problem to reach for the green in 2. The thing that maybe think about is to choose maybe Machete, maybe the Amazon, especially if you do have some crazy tailwind and we risk going into the rough. Other than that, nothing special here really. It's the same type of play from rookie division, just that we're going to have our driver in max distance instead of medium distance, still adding for elevation, and then we do pack clubs with a lot of backspin in our bag. For Master T, if we do have some crazy headwind or some very strong cross from right to left, have in mind in Master T we do have like between like 11 to like 15, 16 with a 14 with a Kingmaker, which is going to be strong. Then we can play left side. Important with left side is that the fairway just on the first white marker slopes down to the right, which is going to push us to the right. Then we need to count off that and going with curl and also side spin. We need to put ourselves as close to the top of the second fairway as possible. Reason for that is that we do have a couple of trees in the middle there, so we don't want to just go around it and not have an open shot towards the pin. If we're going to play left side, we need to go close to the top. No problem if you reach into the rough either. But in the end, if we do have like left to right wind or we do have tailwind, then I would go according to the black line even in Master. So backspin there for Master as well, nothing special really. So we're going to go to hole number 6. Hole number 6 is going to be a par 5, and I believe this is might going to be the easier of the 3 par 5s that we're going to play. First and foremost, we're going to add 10% extra. For rookie division, we're going to play our club between medium and max distance of our club, and we're going to bounce with at least 4.5 bar of topspin over the bunker there to find the second black mark. And that is going to help us to decide how we're going to play the second shot. We're either going to curl from the right side to the left, or we're going to curl from the left side to the right. The difference that we do have here is that we do have trees just in the middle, which means that we can't go directly to the pin. So if you're going to have a club with a lot of curl, at least 50 instead, then we can play right side and curl it in with max curl and stay away from the trees. If we're going to play left side, we kind of need to use the trees in the way that we're going to play under them, and we're going to get the ball up to the green and let it fall back down towards the pin. Very tough one to make an albatross on, and I would be very pleased with an eagle. From second tee, we're going to play our driver in max distance. With headwind, it's going to be very difficult to get this ball over the bunker. In worst case scenario, we might have to lay up just before the rough and go with a club with distance instead. So it's important, in my opinion, that you, at least for the first try, that you pack club with a lot of distance in it, like for example a big dog or the cataclysm, so you can counter for maybe having to lay up or something like that. So for this for the second tee as well, power 3 ball is a must. Might going to be able to play with a power 4 ball, depending if you have one of those. Rookie as well, power 3 ball, very important. Master tee, I would say that if we don't have any type of tailwind, we can't reach over the bunker, which means that we need to lay up, and then we need to lay up and we need to play with a club that do have a lot of power. So Cataclysm, big dog, and then we need to kind of bounce on around where the second bunker is on the top right, and then roll our ball towards the pin, or maybe have a wedge for the pin or something like that. So this par 5 is going to be very difficult in Master Division, depending on the wind, of course. Hole number 7. Here we're going to add 10% again to our adjustment because we're playing downhill. And now this hole might look like, okay, let's go green. But sure, you have a bunker on the right, and it's not that funny to land in the bunker, never. So from rookie tee, we're going to start. We're going to say that I want you to pack your big topper and I want to pack your Viper. The reason for that is that if we do have favorable wind, we can, with a power 3 ball, bounce over according to as the white line says, with a tiny bit of curl to the left and side spin and as much top spin on the big topper as possible. Could put us past the trees and have an open shot towards the pin. If we don't have that option, then we're going to lay up. We're going to play with our wood club and going to lay up according to the black mark there. And sure, if you do have the rocket, you maybe have an upgraded quarterback. You can play with the driver in minimum distance and use as much backspin as possible to just make the ball stay there. And then you maybe wonder, why do we want to do that? The reason we want to do that is because we want to play under the trees just before the pin, instead of finding ourselves in a position where we're going to have the trees in our way because the ball is going to be in the same height as the trees. So we need to be smart here and really do, we really need to be very smart here and lay up instead of trying to go as far as possible. The only way to get the ball to the green there is to kind of curl it around the trees if we do bounce over the water. And I've seen so many already to get stuck behind the trees, and then the struggle starts. So we're going to play, as I said, big topper backbone, front tee there. If we do play from the second tee, we're going to play basically the same way. I would suggest that you actually play with a rocket so you can lay up on the right side if necessary. If we do have some decent wind, we can just go over with an Apocalypse or an upgraded Thor's hammer. Then other than that, it's going to be exactly the same play here. Master tee, the same thing. If headwind here, we might have to go straight forward or lay up even before the bunker. I think that would even be a smarter play, because if we do, even if we come to the tip to the left of the fairway, still going to have the tree line in play, especially if we do have wind that is coming from left to right or right to left. Here we're going to go to hole number 8, the last of the par 3s. From this view, it doesn't look that difficult, but it is kind of difficult. The green is uphill, which means that you can't go with just like max backspin. 3 to 5 bars of backspin depending on the wind that you're going to have. And when it comes to rookie, we're going to play with a long iron. When it comes to pro and expert, we're going to play with a wood club. And when it comes to master, we're going to play with a wood club / driver. So We're going to bounce it just on the right side of the fairway, because there we can get a pretty firm bounce. So we're going to go with a side spin to the right, because we're going to be pushed a little bit to the left due to the undulations that we do have on the fairway there. Other than that, this is not an hole-in-one hole in my opinion. This is just a hole where we can get the ball up to the green, because the first bounce is going to be so inconsistent. So it's very important to just let the ball bounce up towards the green. Rather go a bit long than go short, because otherwise we're going to fall back down and we're going to have a wedge towards the pin. Win 5 ball preferred in Master, Navigator for Rookie, and then Titan and Kingmaker for Master. For Pro and Expert. Last but not least, we're going to have hole number 9, a par 5, which is going to be very difficult from no matter what division you're playing. We're going to play first in Rookie. We're going to play in minimum/medium distance of our driver. We're going to land on the island on the left. The island on the right is a no-go. We're not going to play there whatsoever in any of the divisions. You need to lay up as far on that island as possible without risking rolling down into the rough or into the water. Put a club with a lot of power as your second club, and with a power 3 ball, Kingmaker preferred. You can go with max overpower, max topspin, max side spin to the right, and as well max curl to the right. That will get you close to the green, and will in many cases put yourself in the rough amongst the green or in one of the bunkers there, but at least give it a shot. If you do want to play it very conservative, you can just lay up according to the black marker and have a short iron towards the pin for chipping in an eagle. Second tee, we're going to play the same way. We're going to play the driver in almost maximum distance of our club, somewhere between medium and maximum distance of our club, depending on the wind. And then second shot, we're going to still have a club with a lot of power. And the same thing is for Master, which we're going to play with max distance of our club. Might have to go with a slight amount of overpower to reach for the island there. I'm not adding anything due to elevation, so I'm just playing it as it is. This is a very, very tough par 5, and if you do make an eagle, I do see you being one of the few that is actually going to get them. It depends on the wind, of course. With some crazy tailwind, we will see players try to bounce on the island over to the next fairway. I don't blame them, because that will make it's no problem to reach for the green in 2. But if we do have some strong wind in different directions, then we're going to have a very tough time to make an eagle here on hole number 9. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the walkthrough of the text guides. You can find the text guides on Imgur, and make sure that you hit the heart button there, and also arrow up it, or what it's called. You can find a link to it in the video description down below, and then you can download to your computer, you can print it out, or you can do whatever you want. Check out patreon.com/golf-tommy if you in the future want to get the text guide before everyone else in the tournament. Usually gets out on a Thursday, and everyone else get it on a Sunday. So check that one out. If you do need to or do want to have a training session with me, check out Patreon as well. Golf Clash United on Facebook, and Team Golf Clash Tommy as well. United is a group, Team Golf Clash Tommy is a page. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and good luck in the Metro Open tournament.